Hey there, how there, ho there, Chef Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Cutter Degrassism. And today we're going to be taking a look at the big question in season 6, in the episode in which Lakehurst comes to the Degrassi for a cheer competition, and there's a lot of tension. The episode's called If You Leave. I actually have done a couple of videos based on this myself. Now, the inspiration for this video is not my own creation. No, somebody 25 days ago, and this is being broadcast on November 23rd, 2025, by the name of Anonymous 1995, did a video called Did You Agree with Emma and Manny? And said, in the aftermath of JT's death, Emma wants to cancel the game against Lakehurst due to everyone mourning and possibly reopening wounds and creating chaos for the school. Manny wants to continue with the game because of how much the work they put in the spirit squad and their cheers routines to show that they're bigger and better than them. Everyone grieves in different ways. Emma was grieving a range, and Manny was grieving in a let's not stop living kind of way. Which side were you on? Obviously, the OP missed the mark, and it wasn't a game, it was a cheer competition. So here's the background of the episode, which was If You Leave. So anyhow, JT, after his bad breakup with Liberty and Liberty giving up the kid for adoption and then having postpartum, but her parents didn't give a shit about what she thought, um, found Mia. So JT found Mia, who had a doting 2-year-old girl named Isabella, who liked JT's role on the kid show that he did. And practically, JT's got a little fan and got Mia. So he tries to prove to Liberty that he could work with kids, and Liberty grows jealous and all that. It's obvious Liberty's jealous because JT is getting close to Mia via Isabella, and Liberty probably feels angry and saying that JT's throwing Izzy in her face, right? Mia in her face, saying that you gave up a kid. Liberty, of course, tells Mia about how bad JT is. And, well, Liberty kind of had it right to do it. But it didn't work as JT still is with Mia. Unfortunately, in the background, Lakehurst, Mia's old school, was upset because JT broke up with the leader of the quote unquote Lakehurst gang, Nick. Nick was the guy before Lucas who impregnated me in the first place. But, Nick was trying to destroy Degrassi by causing chaos at a few events, and Degrassi was trying to cause chaos too. It all came to a head at a impromptu birthday party. After Manny gets broken up by Craig, she decides to set up a party to make herself feel better about herself. And JT says, "Hey, it's Liberty's birthday. Why don't we throw the party?" Emma tries desperately to say no because when Spike and Snake were out of town, they did not want a party being thrown, and Emma was obeying it. But unfortunately, Emma caved, and then the party becomes decent. Unfortunately, though, Derek and Danny spread the word, and now it's a power cake, waiting to blow off. Emma wants to lose her virginity to Sean, but then she gets so drunk she sleeps through everything as it seemed. And of course, JT finally realizes that he should be with Liberty instead of Mia because he has feelings for Liberty. Toby tells JT to go after Liberty, and JT tries to. Unfortunately, though, Drake Lampley and Johnny DeMarco are there, and Drake pulls a knife and stabs JT in the aorta. I mean, Johnny DeMarco was shocked too. He didn't think Drake was going to go rogue. But basically, JT dies. Liberty does find him and cradles him in her arms. But of course, Liberty is, and everyone is shocked that JT is dead. That next episode is about Toby somehow being guilt ridden and being with Liberty, and probably being with Liberty as a way to cope with the fact that Toby probably feels anguish that he told JT to go look for Liberty and then, he died. But I mean, how did Toby know that JT was going to die wanting to tell Liberty everything. Of course, then the next episode is If You Leave, and Emma is still trying to project her guilt in a sense. I think she was guilty about JT dying in the first place and didn't know how to tell JT's grandmother that it was avoidable. Then Manny, who was living with Emma at the time because her father's kicked her out, decides to go home as her parents figure that Manny's in danger and want her to move home. And Manny agrees. Emma says, "No, don't. You'll be fine here." And Manny says, "I have to go home. They want me there. But we'll still hang out and everything." Unfortunately, Manny, having a crush on Damien, who was the Lakehurst student council president, didn't help matters as Emma felt betrayed when Manny refused to come over for a few things. Emma is peeved and all that at Manny. And then there was the cheerleading competition at Degrassi, and Snake saying that this could be the first time in a couple of decades that Degrassi wins a competition like this. Emma tries to raise a point that, having Lakehurst come here for the cheer competition was wrong. And Manny says this is to help the school heal. And Snake even says that this is to, the logistics are not going to have us cancel it. I mean, there are other schools too. Emma is not listening, as it seems. She's on a one woman campaign to try to destroy Lakehurst and in the process, destroy Manny. I mean, the signs were there that Emma was upset that Manny moved out and all that, and she didn't tell Manny how she really felt, or basically she tried to, but Manny wouldn't listen, and that pushed Emma further. Then do the go home Lakehurst cheer that destroys Lakehurst's camp cheer thing, but Degrassi wasn't even better. I mean, Degrassi, the weird outfits they wore and the cheer they did for JT, and the song says "I'm alive," and it's like, why? So anyway, Lakehurst is fuming and all that. Manny's fuming at Emma that Emma had to stick her nose in where it didn't belong. Of course, that wasn't the first time. The first time, as I failed to mention, is that when Emma and Sean meet Manny and Damien tries to explain the situation, and then um, not Darcy, no, I think Mia steps in and basically tells Damien, "Hey, you're close to Drake Lampley. Has he has anyone contact has he contacted you?" And Damien stammers, and Manny is upset that Emma did this. And Emma says, "I'm not the only one that thinks Lakehurst is bad." But Manny goes ballistic, and then Manny goes, "Well, Emma, are you happy?" "Well, I should be happy." "Hey, you should be happy too. Thanks to Manny Santos, we won the cheer competition. We did it. No one's going to be talking about the Lakehurst cheer. It's about Degrassi winning the championship, just like you said." But then Damien makes a snide remark about Maddie putting up with Emma's crap, and then Sean goes nuts. And it's like, wait a minute, Sean wasn't supposed to be at Degrassi. He was expelled, and there was no movement to take him back. I mean, Sean actually was asked by Snake if Snake would like to intervene on Sean's behalf and put Sean back at Degrassi. And Sean says it's useless. But yeah, and then, of course, Degrassi and Lakehurst have a brawl. Emma gets massive detention. She doesn't get suspended, which was weird. But then she blows off at Snake, saying that they killed JT. Wrong. One student killed JT. You can't fault an entire school for what happened. And then Emma goes on a tirade saying that everyone's moving on from this whole JT thing, and I'm pissed. We don't want to move on. We want to move on from JT. And Snake says, "This isn't about JT. Your problems are the fact that you have problems with Manny. You have to fix this." And then Emma and Manny go to the spot where JT got stabbed, and Emma admits her problems. And Manny says, "Emma, I know you're upset, but you just tried to make me the bad guy. I guess it didn't work. Everything we work Every problem we have, we work together on it. Don't go changing the formula." And Manny and Emma says, "Thanks for the reminder," and all that. So the question, of course, is who's right, Manny or Emma, about the whole situation? I'll give you my thoughts after the comments. So, of course, as I said, this post was not mine. Anyway, one person says, I've always been on Manny's side, but this one I agreed with Emma. Lots of people said Team Emma and all that. And Coco said, I think both were grieving in the way that was best for them. So there isn't a right side in terms of how they should have processed it. However, any school leaders or district should have just moved, or the district should have moved the competition to a neutral school. This was a dumb risk and not surprising it ended in a fight. Um, of course, someone says, Emma, mourning slash grieving for JT aside, there's also a logistical safety issue on full on fights at that game or at that thing. Lakers and Degrassi students have an ongoing rivalry, which escalated into a Lakers student committing murder towards a Degrassi student. Tempers would absolutely flare. Okay, I have mine. But anyway, Negative Rich says the routine was weak anyway, but I get both of their sides. Um, yeah. Atrash said, I think the way that JT was a literal mascot is a relevant part of why it was too soon. Even if they were playing a different school, they would still have an obvious absence without him as mascot, and the students would be feeling that in a big way. Success OK says, I'm on Emma's side, even though she's annoying. She literally lost her friend that she's known since she was 12, and it was too soon to have a rival high school play against Degrassi. I think both Manny and Emma grieved in different ways, but I'm more on Emma's side. Well, Snoop Production said, Manny, I never quite understood how the actions of a Lakers student translated into all of Lakehurst, especially in a metro area like Toronto. There was an ongoing feud between the schools. One of their students killing a Degrassi student would raise tension so soon. Yeah, a lot of people practically said that they're on Emma's side and all that. Strange Abby says, well, Lakers wasn't responsible as a school. The entire thing was started as a Degrassi Lakers feud. The competition should have been moved to a different school. It's not that hard to find a available gym, but booing Lakers girls out of the building was too far. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Emma had a problem. Well, one person said she was on Manny's side. Lakers didn't conspire to murder JT. One random Lakers student did that. The way the whole school was played was absurd. Of course, of course. Yeah, about the whole issue. Well, what I said was not my whole massive paragraphs, but anyway, I said they both have their points. As Emma didn't think that Lakers should be going to an event on their soil after the JT saga. Manny wanted the chance for the Power Squad to prove how good they were. Plus, Snake even said logistically they couldn't move the event or change the date because it affects every cheer team, not just Degrassi and Lakehurst. I feel that I was more close to Emma, but her trauma was the fact that Manny was moving away and thinks she can't be close to her more so than JT Steph. She had the clinging friendship to Manny after Rick almost killed her. So you get my point. That's my point. I mean, when you look at it, is that it's not completely what Emma versus Manny. It's the fact that there's a third voice, and that's Snake's opinion. Snake even said that they couldn't change the logistics. And if it was Degrassi versus Lakehurst one on one, probably they might have canceled it. But there's also the fact that there are other schools. This was a regional. competition. This wasn't just Degrassi v. Lakehurst. This was going to have 6 or 7 schools. I mean, when you look at it, it's like that's the problem. I mean, the school district should have realized about Degrassi Lakehurst and that problem and pushed it somewhere else or postponed it for at least another week. But I mean, Manny says we've been working on our routines. I get it, and she's right. Manny's right. But Emma took things a little too far. I think Emma, in a sense, had a point. I mean, as annoying as Emma is, that she has a lot of people in her corner and all that. But of course, Emma's problems are not just the cheer competition. The cheer competition is one thing, but the fact is, it was a front for how she really felt about Manny seemingly abandoning her. I mean, we look at Emma and Manny's relationships as a friendship, excuse me, and the fact is that Emma goes a little too far, especially season 5. We all look at season 5 and we actually see how bad Emma seems to be towards Manny. She's controlling of Manny, low key controlling, especially that the whole thing with losing weight in Our Lips Are Sealed. I mean, Manny should not have even tried to meet with her agent for anything and try to lose weight in the first place because wasn't Manny supposed to not act in anything as part of the deal to live with Snake and Spike? Although people said that she was basically, um, doing this in the background, like basically doing it behind Snake and Spike's back. Of course, Snake and Spike had their own problems, but like Emma was controlling in that situation. I mean, Manny should never have had Emma interfere and all that. She realized that and says, "I can't do this anymore. You're taking control of this." And then, of course, Emma has her eating disorder. But when I look at it, is that, this was accumulation of Emma having Manny as a friend and controlling her and basically using things against Manny. Emotional trauma, I think, to get Manny to stay with her. Because Emma had the problems. This leads to the Rick situation. Because was Emma and Manny friends when Rick almost killed Emma? Actually, no. If you remember in season 4, when Emma found out that Chris was going to date Liberty, she wanted to prevent that from happening and wanted to stay with. Well, Manny thought Emma wanted Chris back, but Emma says, "I just don't want Chris and Liberty to date. I don't want Chris at all. What are you talking about? It's just that, what if Chris dates Liberty? What does that say about me?" And Manny snarks at her, rightfully so. I mean, look at the fact. Emma basically was doing these causes and all that and a lot of things with a lot of backlash, even from Raditch. But the fact of the matter, and she didn't give a crap, but the fact of the matter is that, Emma had changed. When you look at Emma from season 3 to season 4, like Mary McDonald, she had a glow up. And I think that because Emma had a glow up, she thought she was above her own station. Simple as that. She thought she could get a boy and all that with her looks, but she couldn't find anyone and didn't want to go back with her tail between the legs and try to go with Chris. I mean, look at the facts. How many guys actually liked Emma before Emma liked them? I mean, Sean didn't like Emma first. Emma liked Sean before Sean liked Emma. I mean, Toby had a crush on Emma, but we all know how creepy he is. Rick had a crush on Emma. We all know how stupid and dangerous he was. I mean, Sean in season 6, he was definitely a different Sean than seasons 3 and 4. He was a little bit awkward. Damien didn't have to crush on Emma, or did he? I don't know. But Damien toyed with Emma. But that just raises a lot of points. The fact is that, Emma didn't have many to confide her problems with. And Emma, after realizing how alone she was and how alone she was on her own terms, and basically the whole Chris situation, she realizes that she caused her own problems. She wanted to stay with Manny, gain friends, gain a boyfriend, and just, put the Rick thing out of her mind. But no, Emma just had to be a prick about it. Snake was right. This was more than just the Lakers thing. This wasn't really about the Lakers thing. It was a random thing. It was just about Manny and her losing Manny. I mean, part of me actually thinks that Emma secretly wants to have a relationship with Manny and all that. And that, Emma has bad luck with guys, but she wants to be with one or true love, Manny. That's what part of me thinks. But I'm like, that's not true at all. I mean, Manny wanted to be with Craig and all that. But then again, Emma was chasing after Manny. Nah, that wouldn't work out. That's probably why Emma has bad taste in guys. Well, I mean, she's with Spinner in a sense. But, Snake was right because Emma, her problems were not about Lakers. Yeah, it was about Lakers. But let's not forget the one key ingredient I forgot to mention is the fact that Emma probably had massive guilt over JT dying because of what happened at the house. Remember, as I said earlier, Emma, Snake and Spike were out of town and told Emma no parties, and Emma agreed. But JT and Manny pushed her into a party, and then the word spread quickly. Emma probably, in a sense, wanted Manny, like, was Emma punished for the whole party thing? She probably would have been if it wasn't for JT's death. But yeah, JT's death. And Snake and Spike probably felt that they couldn't do that. Maybe Emma was going to get some repercussions and she felt that Manny deserved some repercussions. And then Manny wouldn't be able to move home because Spike and Snake would have said something. But then again, Spike and Snake probably would have kicked Manny out and back into her parents' house. So maybe Emma was feeling some kind of guilt. I think Emma was feeling a little bit of guilt because, she probably felt responsible for JT's death and all that. But the fact of the matter is that she should not have blamed herself. I mean, it was a random thing, and Emma could not control what she had. And, with Emma losing control of things, she goes off the handle trying to gain control back. And that's what happened. I think that Emma was just so upset over everything that she thought she should have probably told on Manny, saying Manny was the bad guy in this situation. But then again, they probably would have kicked Manny out, and she would have went back to his parents' house as is. She would have had to have her tail between her legs. But that's the thing. And Emma stays clingy towards Manny and a friendship with Manny in the next few seasons. You could see it that this was the catalyst for Emma to go overboard. And let's not forget another point of view about this thing. The point of view about Emma's PTSD. I think that Emma had PTSD and it went back to the whole Rick situation. And remember, she didn't project her problems for a few months after Rick almost killed her. And then she portrays this thing in the next 2 weeks. She was trying to get people to realize that. She was trying to get people to actually talk to her about her problems. She was trying to project her problems on people and they just didn't listen. She felt people didn't listen to her. So she went bonkers and all that. Unfortunately, Emma kind of went back to internalizing her problems because she felt no one's going to listen to her while she's trying to project her things. So I'm going to go back and, internalize my problems because no one gives a shit. Probably what she thinks. Okay, so to summarize, was Manny right? She was because they wanted the cheer competition to lift the spirits of the whole school. Emma was right about the situation because the fact that Lakehurst had somebody kill a Degrassi student and problems would have probably, it would have fanned the flames because some Degrassi students probably would have been upset, even ex-Degrassi Lakehurst students. And Snake even had a point because logistically, this wasn't about Degrassi and Lakehurst. There were 6 or 7 other schools involved. This was a regional competition that Lakers and Degrassi were both in. And the fact of the matter is that other schools had it. So, you have to think about the other schools and what they would have been like. The question is, do you pose the question to the other schools? So anyway, that's all I've got. My rant is over. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.